Hey everyone, what's going on? ONLYUSEmeFEET here. This is going to be a quick little review of Wreck-It Ralph. This is my first movie review on this channel, and I'm really excited to do this. This is just kind of going to be just a non-professional review, just kind of my thoughts on the movie, and just recommend the movie to you guys because it is awesome. So let's get down into it. Alrighty, so the first thing I want to say about Wreck-It Ralph is that it's made for gamers. If you've been playing video games at least for 10 years, you should pick up on tons of references. I mean, there's some Street Fighter references in there, there's Pac-Man references, classic arcade references, and many more. I'd love to sit here and just run down on all of them, but honestly, just go see the movie. I don't want to spoil all of them because hey, that's half the fun of the movie, trying to pick out all the references. And what's really cool is there's some references that are really hard to spot. So that's really cool, and I'm definitely going to have to watch the movie a second time because there's a couple that I missed that many people told me exist. So totally gonna have to watch again for that. But onto the actual movie, the first thing I want to say about it is that it's just really well animated. I know animated movies have been kicking ass for many years, but this movie just looks great. The animation looks fantastic, the character models look great, everything in this movie just looks spot on, and the worlds this game takes you to, absolutely perfect. I have not watched this movie in 3D, but I'm sure the 3D only enhanced it. And I've heard the 3D did some cool things like when you're looking at an arcade machine, you can look down into it and see the game behind the glass. That's really cool. And you can definitely tell the director, whoever made this movie, all of them really love video games and just really put their best effort to make this as accurate to games as possible and really bring these worlds to life. It totally reflects in the movie. Now, as for the plot, one thing about the plot I'm going to have to say is that the first fourth of the movie is pretty much all references. It all takes place, around the arcade. Then three-fourths of the movie take place in a game rather, called Sugar Rush, which is kind of like this Mario Kart ripoff, and this is like the main meat of the movie here. Now, luckily, this world is a lot cooler than you would think. But once this world comes into play, the references really slow down, which personally I think that's a good thing because as much as I love video game references, the movie wouldn't have any substance if the whole time they were just throwing a bunch of random game references at you, and the smaller children wouldn't like that at all. So I'm glad it took a plot where basically you have the main character Ralph, right? And he's trying to find his own identity. So he leaves his own game, Wreck-It Ralph, and then he goes to like a game called Hero's Duty, and then he tries to get something. He ends up in Sugar Rush. I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can. And then he meets a little girl called Vanellope, and with that, he tries to help Vanellope with her problems as well as try to solve his own, and it's just a really great movie. I'd love to talk about the plot a lot more, but I really want to minimize spoilers in this review. So all I'm going to say is the plot works really well. It is kind of classic Disney in some parts, but it's good. It's fresh enough where you'll get a few laughs out of it. You'll really like the movie. And I guarantee that you all will find some really cool things in this movie. And the plot is definitely touching in a few moments. The people around me, I've heard a couple of people crying. I know all the little kids got emotional at a couple points. It's really good, really emotional movie, really great, really moving, and something that you don't see in a lot of animated films nowadays. It's really refreshing, and it seems like it's just made for the parents and the kids equally. And I mean, you can't say that about many animated movies. Well, okay, maybe most of them from Pixar, but not every animated movie can capture that feel. So the characters I thought were really well executed as well. I love John C. Riley as Wreck-It Ralph, or Ralph, I guess. He's just a really great character. Really brings his character to life. Really has a lot of emotion and impact in his voice. Silverman as Vanellope, just a fantastic character. I know some people don't like Silverman, but I think she fits in this role really well. I think she's alright, and I think she does a fantastic job as Vanellope in this movie. And Vanellope is quickly becoming one of my favorite Disney gals. Definitely would like to see more of this character in the future. And then all the other actors and actresses did a good job, but I think Ralph and Vanellope, of course, were the best in this movie. I would say I was a bit disappointed in Lynch in this movie, as kind of like the commander. I forget. Oh, Calhoun, that's right. She's kind of like the leader in Hero's Duty, and it's not that she was bad at acting or anything, but expecting Lynch, this really successful actress in this movie, I thought maybe her role would be a little more prominent, but maybe the joke is that her character isn't supposed to have a lot of emotion, and if that's the case, maybe I just missed it. Maybe she's a fantastic character, but out of like the main four characters, I feel she's the weakest. Felix is really good, really well represented, voiced by the guy from 30 Rock. Um, Really fun character. I didn't like him out first, but he really grew on me, and by the end of the movie, I loved him. Definitely kind of plays off that classic Mario feel, and just overall a great character. So, I guess I should wrap up this video by highly recommending this movie. Listen, if you like video games, you gotta see Wreck-It Ralph. It is a fantastic movie. It is one of the best movies I've seen this year, and I've seen some pretty kick-ass movies with Dark Knight Rises, Spider-Man, Avengers, all those really good. And this movie is right up there. Definitely the best family-friendly film I've seen in a long time. I currently can't think of a family-friendly film that I enjoy more than Wreck-It Ralph. If you have kids, nieces, nephews, any little squirts you can take with you to see a movie, Wreck-It Ralph is your ticket. Just seeing a great, enjoyable movie that definitely will leave an impact on you. There's not too much I dislike about the movie. One thing I will say is I kind of thought that the Sugar Rush things, well, it was fine, but like when they hit Sugar Rush, the references kind of stopped. I know I said before that I'm glad they slowed down, but they pretty much stopped when they hit it. And I'm like, really? I think they could have used some more just to keep the older audience interested. And the humor also kind of goes in the toilet when they hit Sugar Rush a bit. It's not bad, and it's still funny in some parts, but the humor is just really good, and then it kind of just drops as the movie goes on, but it picks back up, and there's some great one-liners in there, but those are really the only two flaws I have with the movie, and they're not bad at all, and they make it more family-oriented, more children-friendly, so I would give this movie overall an A minus. I guess that's like a 9 out of 10 if this was a video game. I'm not reviewing the video game, by the way. I heard it sucked. But I give this movie an A minus. Go see it. If you have little ones, go see it. Fantastic movie. One of the best movies of the year. Probably the best family-friendly film I've seen in a very long time. And with that, I leave you guys. Thanks so much for watching. This is ONLYUSEmeFEET saying, look ma, no hands. Later.